Hare Gopi Jala Vallabha Giranadari Yasoda Nandana Vrajana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Gira Vanacharya Mona Gira Vanachari Gurave Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances to my spiritual master's divine grace. Hey, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who kindly opened my eyes with a torchlight of blazing knowledge. So, thank you everyone for coming for this very, very special day. Very special day. The appearance of the Avatari, the original personality of Godhead. Lord Caitanya. Yes, Lord Caitanya is Avatari too. A lot of people, they misinterpret. They think Lord Caitanya is just some sentimentalist, some bogus sannyasi chanting, dancing, right? What is that? Right? The Mayavadi class, the impersonal class actually, that following Shankaracharya in India, when they saw Lord Caitanya dancing and chanting so jubilantly for Krishna and ecstasy, they couldn't understand how come this such a youth, 24, 25 years old, right, took sannyas and not hearing, not studying Vedanta, right? Impersonalists actually, most of their relationship with this Supreme Absolute, right, comes from simply speculating on the different Vedic portions, Vedanta Sutra, right? They interpret it very nicely, and just like a cloud, Lord Chaitanya said, he was hearing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for 7 days on the Vedanta Sutra, and he was explaining to him the essence, so-called, of the Supreme Absolute, right? And when he reached the 7th day, Lord Chaitanya wasn't asking anything, wasn't saying, right? Actually, if someone is listening, right, you should ask questions. This is nature, right? Doubt is a sign of intelligence. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was asking Lord Chaitanya, what is that? You're not asking questions? What happened? I know you are very, very intelligent. Lord Chaitanya was actually, he came from a family of great Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, not just Brahmanas. Someone will not mistake the Brahmana, an occupational duty over Brahmana. The purpose of that occupational duty is to reach to the Vaishnava state. So Lord Chaitanya, he came from such a exalted family, and he was fully familiar. He was a great scholar of logic, right? Persian, Sanskrit, all those different things. But when he relished in this pastime, the mellow, the rasa, the taste of the essence of all the teachings of the Vedas, right? Vedanta Krit, Vedanta Vi, Devacha Aham. I am to be understood by all knowledge, Krishna says in the 15th chapter, 15th verse. I am the cause of remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. By all Vedas I am to be known. He understood, I am full, right? He says, I'm a fool in front of my spiritual master. And he simply went on chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is no other way to understand the Supreme Person than render service to Him, right? It says in the 18th chapter 2. And this service of hearing is primarily the first service. How many services out there for executing this wonderful task of Bhakti Yoga? How many? So everyone knows.
3?
9 services. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Parasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani Vedanam. Shravanam, everything starts from hearing. From our first day, right? The son comes to the mother. Mother, I want water, right? So the mother tells him, go to the kitchen, take the bottle with the transparent water on the left, don't take the right, on the right, it's a poison, right? If the son, if he tries to speculate, and he comes and he asks, oh, what if I will try this little right bottle with the green liquid, or what I will try? He will die. How he will experience that? You cannot experiment on this Shabda Brahma. Shabda Brahma is transcendental knowledge. You cannot touch, you cannot smell, you cannot taste. Similarly, any knowledge that you get comes from hearing. And this is the first process in this hearing. Are you heading, Philip?
Yeah.
Okay, would you be able, Jason, to give him, there's a piece of burfi there in the fridge, cut him a nice piece so he will enjoy it. So, Shravanam, after Shravanam, we chant for others. Just like Shukadeva Goswami, the speaker of the Bhagavata Purana, the most exalted Purana. When the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, when they received the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, which was composed by Shankaracharya, right? You know Shankaracharya. Actually, Shankaracharya is no other than Shiva, exactly. Shiva himself, he says to Parvati in Padma Purana, he explains, in the Kali Yuga, I shall advance myself in the form of a Brahmana to continue the process of Lord Buddha, right? Lord Buddha came, he first asked, stop this killing, what are you doing? Actually, this animal sacrifice, which so many so-called religious processes execute, is not bona fide at all. There was no time in the Vedic culture, the Asian Vedic culture that goes back to eternity, different yugas and kalpas. No time there was that a Brahmana, a learned man in the science of God, would eat meat and would condemn it for worship of God, sacrifices for God. This is nonsensical. Was never present there. The original form of that execution was to check mantras, to understand if the Brahman is actually qualified. He will chant the mantra, he will bring the cow to the sacrificial arena. The cow will be old, almost dead, right? She will almost die the next day. And if the mantra would work, which will be almost 100% sure it will work, the cow will get a new body. A new body. So there was no loss in that process. Just like in Bhakti Yoga, right? Krishna says, no loss and no diminution in this process. And it can save you from the greatest fear. Yes, sir. Greatest fear. What is that fear? To become Gokara, right? Become an ass, a cow, a monkey, or even Indragopa. Worm in a stool, right? There's that demigod Indra, who in the pastime, right, of Giridhari, Krishna, when he lifted Gaur on a hill, he was protecting the citizens from this rascal, puffed up demigod. Yes, sometimes conditioned living entities in the material world, all the time actually, they become puffed up from material wealth. So it's a great benefit for us that we have such a nice tiny temple. So we're not going to be puffed up. Krishna protects. Krishna knows. Ishvara sarvabhutanam Arjuna tishtati. He resides in everyone's hearts and he derives everyone. Although sitting in a machine, he knows what you need, not what you want. Yes, you can want, but you should deserve what you want, what you desire, first of all. First deserve and then desire. So, similarly, when Lord Caitanya was being explained by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, by this Vedanta Sutra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he did not relish the Bhagavata Purana. Why? Because Shankara, the appearance of Shiva in this Kali Yuga, he could not interpret this aspect. Paramatmiti Bhagavaniti Shabyate. The transcendentalists know, understand, relish and realize the supreme absolute truth in those three aspects. All pervading, right? Just like the sun. Sun is all pervading, everywhere. Even when the sun disappears, pervading through the moon, right? Now we have beautiful moon in the Falgu month that Lord Caitanya appeared so nicely to glorify the holy names, to show us to relish those pastimes. Similarly, the this Bhagavata Purana the sun, all-pervading future, right? Like I was saying before, exhibits this future everywhere, right? You don't have to see the sun directly. You can see it through the moon. You can see it through the moonshine. Then you have the personal aspect of the Paramatma, right? The sun is localized, even though all-pervading, situated in its spot, right? If someone says, oh, the sun, like people were thinking in the Dark Ages, the sun goes and disappears in the ocean, right? Dies and then borns again. This is foolishness. Foolishness. And then we have the Supreme Absolute. If everything in your experience and everything in my experience, right? There is something beyond that experience. We don't know anything. If someone says, I know everything, great fool and rascal, right? For them, Krishna says, for them I come as death. You know everything? Okay, now I'm going to come and take everything. Martya sarva harascha ram, like a snake. Devouring snake. The time I come and I demolish everything, right? Old age, disease, death, birth, right? And then again and again, right? Seemingly, everything beyond their experience must exhibit the experience that we have. Jamadya Siyataha, Vedanta Sutra says, right? So, seemingly, even Shankara, even the impersonalist, he confirms, yes, Narayana Paravyakta, I accept, yes, Narayan beyond this material conception of life, the Supreme Absolute. But his followers, right, just like in a lot of spiritual movements, unfortunately, right, the followers, they don't want to follow the predecessors, the spiritual master, right? Srila Prabhupada explains there are two kinds of so-called followers. Followers that condemn the instruction. We don't need this, right? I don't need this. This was, right, for the 18th century, 19th century, for the 70s, right? Like so many so-called devotees says, oh, waking up, chanting 60 rounds, right? Only prasadam. It was only for those hippies. Because they were doing so many drugs, they could relish that. Because they needed a break. Now we can be more reluctant. No! Fools and rascals! The Acharya, he comes and he establishes the standard, right? And if there is another Acharya that comes by the authority of Krishna, right? Then he can establish, right? Just like Krishna. Krishna, he comes and he established, like the shloka, right? I come, I descend every millennium to explain the religious principles. Seemingly, he sends his representative. His representative should not be misunderstood. He is as good as God, as Krishna, yes. Just like we chant here in the morning, every morning, we have this artik in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, we chant for the spiritual master. Shakshadaritvena Samastra Shastra. You good as the spiritual man you good as God. Why? Why? Because you're preaching his message unadulterated as it is. No concoction. This is spiritual life. Little concoction to the left, little concoction to the right, you have a cut. Blood, right? Blood, your lifespan actually decreases. Very, very bad. So, Shankara, he accepted this personal aspect. His followers, unfortunately, they didn't want to listen. You see, like everything starts from listening. And they went on, Kirtanam. No Shravanam, Kirtanam. Right? And then they would try to meditate. Smaranam, right? But on what they're going to meditate? They don't accept Vishnu as a Supreme Absolute. The meditation that performed in all the different systems of the lower yogas. Yes, lower yogas. Bhakti Yoga is the highest. All the different other yogas are simply a preparation on this ladder stair to Bhakti Yoga. So the yoga of Patanjali, that Patanjali explains, he explains actually you should meditate on the Supreme Absolute, on Vishnu in the heart, Dhanya. Yes, and before that, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to think about God all the time. Yama, Niyama, Asana, right? The Ashtanga yoga process. 8 limbs. They start from controlling the senses. First of all, you fool rascal, you stop this nonsense. Putting the finger on the nose, the arm there, legs behind your ears. First you control your desires, your anchoring of the mind, senses, intelligence, all different things, right? And then you follow some regulative principles. Yama, niyama, regulative principles. And just then you sit and stretch, asana, right? And then what do you have? You have pratyahara. You stop even the urge for all those different sense gratification, for putting the senses in the sense objects. Oh, let me think about going to the right? Like yesterday was the white night, right? People just see. People are staying awake during the night, sleeping during the day, right? And then they're surprised, right? Oh, my back, my this, right? All the different kleshas kicking on their face, right? Because they're completely neglecting the natural sequence of life, right? Right? Why Krishna put that light up there, right? So we can read the Bhagavatam. Not so we can wait until the light gonna go down and then party like jackals. Right? The jackal, there's a nice story. The jackal fell down into this paint bucket, covered himself in I think blue color or something like that. I don't remember. So all the animals, they start praising him. Oh, what kind of animal is that? It must be God, right? Like Krishna is blue, extraordinary, right? Krishna tricks us, covered the sky in blue, so we're never gonna forget him, right? Even the atheists, right? They cannot forget Krishna once they see this beautiful Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna here riding the chariot. Who is this blue personality? Wow, just like the sky. Immediately, millions of lives are smashed. Back to home, back to Godhead, right? The counting starts from that point. So this jackal, pretending to be God, but then eventually, when the rain came and took all his color down, all the animals noticed, oh, this is just a random jackal. Oh, what is this? He was fooling us all the time. So all those people, all those nonsense people, simply take all this knowledge, right? Even the beautiful Bhagavad Gita, beautiful Puranas, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, right? Lord Caitanya says, your explanation is just like a cloud to the shining sun, right? The sun is already there. What do I need? Your cloud to cover it, right? Some shade is nice, yes, of course. But the sun, when there is light, there is no darkness, right? It's just like William Blake says, and God is just like that light. So when this knowledge, supreme knowledge of Krishna, actually if someone asks, how can you know that God spoke this, right? Very simple. You find one flaw in this perfect philosophy. This is one of the aspects of God. He's full in knowledge. Right? People don't know now who is God. God is light. God is great. Yeah, the most great, the most merciful. Yeah, that's true. There are so many people that are imitating God now, right? Especially in India, right? So many people, right? They say, I'm God, right? Even to hear, it came to that extent. I'm God. I'm good as God. I don't know anything about God. I don't know how to explain His message as it is, right? I simply concoct something, but I'm good as God. Now you worship me. Fools and rascals. This knowledge is self-effulgent. Just like the sun. You don't need little lamps, shining lamps, to exhibit something on the surface. When the sun is out, right? Or when you have the moon, like now, this beautiful month that Lord Caitanya appeared in. You don't need all those different stars. You have the moon. So similarly, Prabhupada came and established this wonderful Bhagavad Gita, because There's so many commentaries, 1664 commentaries so far that are being adulterating this beautiful message. On this particular shloka, they would say just, yeah, Krishna. There's higher things than Krishna. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, this nonsense person came to me. Why is he nonsense? Because he's completely misunderstood Krishna, right? He's thinking there's something higher than Krishna, right? The Bhagavata says, Bhagavad Purana says, Brahmatmiti Bhagavan, Brahmatmiti Pramatmiti Bhagavaniti Shabyate. The three grades, the highest grade is Brahman, right? The Brahman must, the Bhagavan, I'm such a fool. The Bhagavan is the highest. So you can understand that because I'm a person, he must be a person. So why not? What is this nonsense argument? And even if you don't reach to the Bhagavata, right, the Bhagavad Purana, very, very high, you stay in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says in the end of the chapter of the different modes of material nature, Brahmani pratishtadha amrityam. I'm the source of this immortality and unlimited bliss, happiness, light, all those, right, impersonal things people like to address. Well, what is love, right? Love is light, right? Love is, they say chemicals. Yes, okay, love is chemicals. Those chemicals, where are they coming from? From Krishna. Krishna is the source of all love, of all light, right?